One more game is all that remains here for Group B. This is what it all comes down to. At the end, 8 teams will be going home, and it will not be a pretty state of affairs for some of these teams, as you saw the standings before, and we can continue to discuss it, Toby, because all of a sudden, Se7en sat there comfortably, loving life, thinking, hey, this is looking good.
Yeah.
Trickle down towards the bottom, and 4Us are hot on their heels for this final game. If Se7en go out like we've seen over the past 2 days, that's it. Axe. Just straight change something up. It's not acceptable.
One of the things is that Se7en is such a talented team. We saw them in Kickoff Cup. They got second in Kickoff Cup with half the teams pretty much being from PEL, right? So they're just one of those teams where we saw them on the left side of the bracket and they were like, oh, they went out early, sure. They'll just get that 15 kill win next game. Oh, they went out early. They'll just get that 16 kill game next game.
Didn't happen.
We never got that game, and now all of a sudden they're on the brink of elimination. That's insane.
Yeah, the elimination moment is scary. Obviously, I don't think they're going to fall that far down, but seriously, if 4Us have a good game, or even just a mediocre game,
they just need 8 more points.
That's it. They're done. That's it. Game over. There's so much that I never expected to see. We've talked about Stella, right? We said about, obviously, the PGA team when it Winside as well. We're looking at all the other teams that were in contention to just creep into this top 8. We never thought Se7en would be out of the equation. And this needs to be the best Miramar game they have ever had.
And even more so for 4Us. There's a chance here, boys. There's a chance here at doing the unthinkable. Not unthinkable in the sense of 4Us making it in, because they actually were in for a little while. But then they dropped back out again. And they now have a chance of regaining that spot in the top 8. And not only regaining it, but I should say, taking out arguably one of the, on paper, best teams in the whole group. They'll be going down towards Las Leones. We've seen him on the southwest side of this city before. Swarm down here as well, alongside Tarlans. Tarlans this time around, no players going up towards Moonwolf. Thank you, Maga. Stay with your team. I like that.
It finally happened.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know why they ever had that split to begin with. I guess you can send one guy rotating earlier if it's a northern circle, but that's about it.
But at least in terms of planes, it's probably the fairest one we've had.
West is accessible now as well, so it's not energy like, oh my god, are we finally getting back to El Pozo? Thank you, game. That's the first game they've been there today. Same thing with VG, they have not been Montenuevo at all. For us, though, sitting center, this circle is going north. Nothing too scary, at least not for now, but that spot around where we have Elgiganten and PG flying around, that is an open field with a few compounds, and I feel like I could say that sentence for a lot of areas in this map, but it really is. And if this one keeps going center, I think there's like 3 pressure points in this one. The whole hillside and the power grid area that Out of War in, the whole field that PG are in right now, and then you have the crater and southeast side of La Bandida and all that stuff. Those are like the 3 big no-no type areas for the circle to go to in order for us to have a fair game. Anywhere else, it could be... well, I mean, it's up to the team at least to get into the spot they need to get to. And of course, it's a lot easier said than done.
You got to think about it as well, right? At least with this circle, most teams will have an easy route into the first rotation here. It's not going to be as chaotic as we've had in the past, a bit more space maybe a bit longer when we wait for one of the first initial kills to go down. I'm expecting 4AK to take the northern rotation. They are at the north anyway, they're in La Cobreria, but they're going to make their way across, most likely east, and come down through Cruz de Val, because they know already what's resting below them here, and they don't want to take that fight right now. It's not something that's worthwhile.
No, it's going to be extremely interesting to see how this one is going to pan out. Elgiganten going to get themselves looted on up. Of course, despite being out of contention for the phase phase 3 finals, they still have a chance of securing their spot in the next phase of PEL. And that's one thing. I mean, we're saying, oh, it's just open league teams. You can just stay in the top again. I mean, there are teams coming up here from Open League. PG is a great example of it.
Yeah, proven us.
And there are teams playing in Open League now that are, well, similar talent of what they have here. So believe me, it's not just going to be a walk in the park to make your way on through if you go down. Just because you was a contender or you were a contenders team, sure you can make it on back up there. It's not that easy, and it's not that many games either. Have that 1 or 2 circles go against you, you're out of it all of a sudden. It's just 12 games in the finals of it.
We hear the tippy-tatter of the feet going off. Tornado only got VG near him for now, but they've got all of El Pozo for their conquest here. 3D Max right up in the northwest corner. Not too far away from everyone else, but their rotation may begin a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. For Quickmath, they're sitting center already. They're sitting 2-0 who are far up west side. And this is kind of interesting because this is probably the most scarce area for compounds, because the other places, like, sure, if you don't have a compound, you can play at dip or hillside. What we've seen in the area where 2-0 is right now on the northwestern side of the circle is that that's that big open hill. Big open hill, and you want to take a spot there early. Like, if the circle does go there, you want to be there before the circle goes there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if you get up there late and there's no area to play from, either you're fighting a team with other teams shooting at you at the same time, or you're just dying to blue. I mean, those are the two options you have to play around. So figure out early on, if the circle goes to X position, which one would be the worst scenario, and then prioritize that. That's a smart play.
MK14 will be found alongside the level 3
Yeah.
gear as well.
I was going to say, we haven't followed a lot of crates today.
No, we had a fair few that ended up in the water as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. So thank you, Mr. Cameraman, for showing us that crates are indeed still in the game.
And they can be the ones that change the game quite a lot there.
Oh, yeah.
We saw a
Sure.
PGA team, right? Nemmer have had one land directly on top of him, made his life a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, that M249 sure did come in handy when it came to those extended fights, not having to reload, being able to peek over when they're reloading. That sure is advanced. What do you call it? Favorable. Thank you.
I didn't do anything, but yeah.
Nope.
Thank me. Why not? Let's go for it, man.
I was talking to the third caster.
That poor third caster. Is he even
never
paid?
gets to
He
say
just never says
anything.
anything. We're just talking too much. But who won't be talking for much longer is going to be Blue. He's straight away taken out of it. And Vinco not getting off to the start they would have wanted here. He's caught on this rotation in. And 3D Max, they will be looking to get as many additional points here because they still are in contention for them opening spots, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot to play for. And a team that has a hell of a lot to play for right now. Se7en Esports on your screen. They're making their first rotation straight alongside Moonwolf. And could you imagine them losing a player to start things off here? Whew, that would be pressure applied from the very start. And you think Krabik is already caught off.
Oh no, I'm so nervous for this. Krabik, you need to make it happen. He starts taking a few shots, but damage is done towards him. Oko proves too strong. His teammate is trying to help him out, but that's instantly a man lost here for Se7en. And this is the worst thing that could have happened to them.
Now, we got to keep in mind, for those of you guys who didn't really see the leaderboards coming to this final game, they are still in 8th place. So technically, if the game ended right now, they would be in. But the only thing in there between them and that 9th place is going to be the potential of for us getting themselves 8 points or more.
Yeah.
And they have started fragging out. We talked about them being hot on their heels. They have had some good games today. Circles have been going in their direction sometimes, sure, but they've also been able to play them off really well. Even have a win today in the first game.
That's what we come back to, right? Saying the wins are key, but you have to be getting the kills on the games you don't win. You have to be getting at least 4 or 5 points every single time you're coming round on this circle.
This is new for AK losing a player early. And that's always kind of interesting, right? When you have a circle come to you, when you want to be the edge team that comes in late. It's like, no, hello.
How do we make this work?
Yeah,
Well, this is different.
We've not tried getting a circle before. Are we supposed to drive further away and then come back later? Or how does this work again? Not used to it, and Ronnie Gray, of course, doesn't go down because of it, but he does go down. You can see Kofas want to get the finish off before they're allowed to come down and get the res on up. And that's exactly what's going to happen. I like their immediate reaction, too.
Yeah.
They saw that the vehicle came in, Havoku and Nixie, were driving down towards the compound. And immediately they say, nope. Kofas drives on down and takes him out.
Not the end of the world, but not the start 4AK would have wanted. Yes, they are in it, but there's no guarantees still at this point. That's the problem for a lot of these teams. This is where it comes down to. It's mad to get to our 32nd game here and be this close to seeing so many teams just on the edge or outside of it to make it through.
Because one thing we haven't really thought about, or we have thought about it probably, we haven't mentioned, is that if both Force and Se7en get good games here, that's the 7th current place that is going to fall out.
It's Winside.
Yep, that's going to be them down and out, right? And it's really, really close up there. Even if Winside has a good get through, that could be the 6th place falling out. Nothing is guaranteed at all, and everything's on the line, just the way we like it.
Closer than close, and Miramar, our final game here as Buster. This is not looking good for Se7en. Will he be able to be brought back up? It looks like he died from a bit of a long range
Oh, yeah, okay, so
fight,
it was foul.
so he can hold on, be res there. But this is going to be us freaking out every time they're put on the screen of like, oh, there's another knock 7 player.
2 knocks on the first rotation. That is just a tough start for you. You can see Moonwolf, they're coming in from behind. So that res on up actually was a pretty scary position to do that. Moonwolf, they know they're there too. They don't want to have to fight them. That's the thing, right? Moonwolf, they have a thought right now saying, if we can avoid going in up against Se7en for the entire finals, because Se7en is a really good team, they just haven't got games going their way. This could be a double vehicle explosion.
Oh, the spray down Oko now brings it out. Tapping away. They try to get out the car. Edelweiss knocks himself as he flings himself out of the vehicle, and he'll go down straight away. Oko getting the job done. And Buster, he is in tears. It is all falling apart around him. It's only him and Frank left alive.
We've got to say, though, everything considered, one thing that Se7en actually has had working their way in the games recently where they haven't been able to get kills is having a sneaky snake get into placement points. So maybe that's going to have to be the strategy here, because they are miles apart right now. You have Buster in Minas, and you have the last remaining player on their team sitting up by Hacienda. Oh, wow. Speaking of coming off to a rough start on a game where everything's on the line, that's what we're seeing right here. You can see Moonwolf, they're chasing them. They don't want to fight Se7en in the finals.
They want to get the job done now, as Vinco are going to lose a player again. That's 2 down for them now.
How much do you think Suk the Nam has paid Moonwolf to chase them? We want to get Pachinki. We want to get Pachinki.
Yeah, that'll make Zen's life a lot easier if Se7en aren't there when you think about it. Gee, God.
Exactly.
I have never felt more on edge for multiple teams when commentating PUBG. This has become one of these lobbies that's just aggressively stacked. Anyone could take it.
And look at what team is fighting next. We saw nades in hand of players up near and around the Force players, but now they're starting to get kills. And if you're the last remaining 7 players, that is not what you want to see happen. PEL's gone down on rotation. We talked about this was an easy peasy circle for the most teams making their way on over here. For God's sakes, they've been here 3 times today already. But fights are escalating so quickly. We've already lost 7 players.
Never did I expect it to go down like this, and we are not even close to being done. 11 minutes in, and there is already 57 alive.
We say it every phase. Oh, it's going to be super. It's going to be good. There's no way it's going to be this close again. But every single time, the game proves us wrong.
People love to say that PUBG is RNG-based. Well, certainly not when it gets as close as this. You have to be putting in that work, and Buster getting tagged up here. Can't afford to go down. Remember, Frank is literally kilometers away from him. Buster is not going to be a loving life anytime soon. He's down and out of it, and Moonwolf, they went on the hunt. They ferociously marched forward and
they were
tore them
chasing
apart. Yeah.
They were chasing them like proper wolf packs coming after them there.
They don't need the moon to be aggressive. They will do it.
That's only Vikendi. You can get like the northern lights in before they add night mode to all the maps.
Oh no. No, don't say it, Toby. Don't do it. Stella, though, still up, still in it. Admittedly, we're 12 minutes in and only, well, we still have every team, basically, but...
For now.
For now, indeed. An MK14 is what Molman would find. Level 3 gear across the board. But is that going to be the deciding factor that can help Stella finally have a good game?
Right now, before this circle pops, if this one pops on Frank, he has to leave this compound. It doesn't. This is fortunate. Honestly, even though he's not Cinder anymore, had it been Cinder, his position would have been too valuable.
They will run it in.
And there would be people coming there. There would be people going for that compound. But because he's on the edge now, chances are they'll go around. And we see it 3D Max on the map screen. If you're watching the map stream, they are rotating south around. And I don't think Stella is any interested in going over to that compound either. So I don't think anyone is going to be going there. But Circle did pop. And for us, they have taken the full-on breaks with this one. They're saying, oh my god, we're seeing Se7en go down and out all over the place. We need to stay alive. And they're miles out into the blue right now.
But it benefits them, right? Anytime they can stay alive, knowing that this could be the way to go, is going to help them out massively here. As we look at Tornado, they're up north at the moment, fighting off with the 4AK players. Remember, 4AK have had a bit of a tougher time.
They already lost players, yeah.
Yeah, it's not been an ideal start for them, but they've had great games overall today. Swarm on the eastern side, they're going to be quite comfortable in their position. Quickmath looking to gatekeep up in the north, as you can see in front of you. They know Tornado will be making their way in soon. And Vinco.
Not eliminated, James.
Oh, they're just lying to us.
Debated.
Just lying to us again. Se7en is still alive.
I was like, nope, they're still alive. Don't let them fool you.
Why was Se7en so far away from his teammate to allow him to go down
They
to
were
the
all
blue?
up there. They were trying to rotate in from the blue.
Yeah, but why was he so far away from his teammate to not bring him back up? Because we're only at phase 3. It's
He's
possible.
running, as you can see. And
Big
the other guy had a
rips.
vehicle. So, yep, that is a...
Good comms, lads. No saving there.
That is an unfortunate set of circumstances. Deeks, some might argue he's caught in the open. I would argue that as well. Elgiganten, they're trying to make that really rough rotation through on the western side, and they have yet to make it into the hardest part, because there's only one team shooting them right now, but once they cross over to that other side of the road, that could potentially be 3 teams heading their barrels in their direction.
For us, as they begin to find a bit of room, they finally come outside the blue, but you need to find a compound, lads, and that's going to be the hardest part here. Shots coming out towards them. Gifted Roo spraying like crazy. And look at this, For us are pinned down, and they've just got hay barrels to sit behind.
They're completely caught up in the open. We knew this area was going to be tough to play on. And in all honesty, with them being out in the blue anyway, probably should have shifted either further south or taken the rotation north around, because they're coming in pretty arguably the roughest area to enter this circle from. Laza, Shaxi, how are you going to get away from here? Not only that, but how are you going to get another 7 points your way?
Well, Vinco will be our 16th team eliminated finally. Se7en goes down to Quickmath as he tried to find some space up in the north, but it wasn't meant to be.
If this one doesn't go northwest, I have no idea what Force can do from here.
Cry.
That they can do, that is true.
Cry and say this was not meant to be, was it, lads? This was not happening anytime soon.
So close, yet so far. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Of course, we cannot count them out just yet. We do see, though, Art of War they're running on up. And Frank, honestly, with this circle, he's got to be somewhat happy. But I'm looking at Stella, and I'm thinking there's a chance that they'll just come saying hello on the other side. Tony gets the knock on towards the first player. Mithralius is down to, and Laza now is all by himself. And I think we have just seen the biggest smile on the face of Frank, because this should be what counts them in.
Yeah, this could be it, but he still wants to ensure he gets those placement points, right? Just in case. He cannot really be comfortable until the very last moment.
That is crazy how first we follow Se7en in all kinds of trouble, and then immediately after, despite them having 4 players alive just 1 minute ago, all of 4 get completely wiped. On the second rotation too. Well, arguably their first because they were so far out, but still, that's a rough last
It was actually their first time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're finding out the blue, we're not taking damage, we can come into the circle. Oh, this was not good. There was no space.
Not at all.
There was just hay in front of us and a lot of gunfire.
That is unfortunate. Well, we did say that they were coming in the rough side of the circle. Even if they don't know where the teams are, that is not the place you want to get caught out. Had it been other places, you could have gotten yourself some cover. You could have maybe run around the side there. But when you're out in the field like that, that is just a rough, rough place to be sitting. Tua just made himself? Nope.
No.
There you go.
Art of War trying to push on this position. They've got Tua in the hut. Misse trying to work around the side. He's got a rock for cover. So much utility being used here by both sides, but no real damage being done until that one lands. Ben manages to get it on the money, but can he now push up and finish off Tua, who is completely isolated here? And he's just going to get in his car and get the hell out of there, but will they start shooting at him? Art of War, they're on the hunt. Shots coming out. It's non-stop, and Quickmath are out of here.
Fortunately got into the car, but it's not going to matter in the end. That Nate would have taken him out, but Memo says, you ain't going to get away from me, buddy. Takes him out immediately after Winside now under pressure. With them, though, seeing that the Force team is eliminated, odds are they'll count themselves in already. But again, as you said, James, we cannot do the math until we see the scoreboard in the end, and you can never count yourself in before the game is over and you see those stats.
You've got to make every second of this final game count for you, especially if you're right on the edge.
And especially with Swarm stepping up now, 4 guys, they have a chance of making them run on forward here, getting themselves some kills. We are seeing Aaliyah getting pressured by Moonwolf, and they're starting to group up for a potential 4v4 fight here. But we've seen Swarm so many times pull off things we would not think imaginable for them. Now, though, is this going to be one of those times, or are they going to come up in a losing side against this very strong right now Moonwolf team?
And that's exactly the point. A very strong Moonwolf team who have had great performances here today. Oko taking some shot down from the Tarlans players. They've got 5 kills already for Moonwolf, but they are comfortably in this. There's no problem for them. They're definitely qualified.
Thing to note as well, we keep talking about PG and how they made their way through Open League. Moonwolf did as well.
Yep. Impressive stuff from these newcomers, 2 contenders. Looking for their spot in Pro League as 4AK Havoki. He can't stand strong any longer. He's going out in 13th place for his team. They had a good day overall. Hopefully they've done enough to keep them within this top 8 and to see them go through to the next round next week.
Still, they're still alive and kicking on the southern side, trying to make some room for themselves. And then you have Hedrick and 3D Max all sitting on top of each other, and now they have a crate landing on top of them too. That's fortunate.
Oh, Frank is going to finally have to move now. But he has to try and move after everyone else has gone if he wants to sneak through, because his spot is not that pretty. Tornado, they're going to die out in the end. They won't stand along for any more time.
And look at this circle pop. It's a 4-way split into the field, into the hills, and into the hills on the other side. Really tough place to have an end game. If it goes down to the road, I hope you guys brought your smokes, because that's going to be all the cover you're going to get.
Smokes and grenades are going to be so key when it comes down to that. Tarlans got themselves an overall good spot here, and they've taken a few shots. They managed to get I think I've seen some kills come out from them.
Shot gets himself knocked. That could be the saving grace for Swarm as they come in from behind. They're trying to take the steal down, but Hedrick secures the finish off. See Swarm, they're making those rotations. Coming down south towards Moonwolf. No, they got them pinned, but how much do you want to commit to this one? Of course, there is pretty much the only way they can go, though, forward. But look at the downhill slant they got from here.
Yeah, it really is. Just down and out in the open. Plenty of teams will be able to shoot on you as Mole Man. Stella, they are coming alive still. They're getting the job done. This time on the 3D Max, and they are all rushing up on this position.
PG and Swarm just completely crashed up into the same area, and Broken got run over by Neverth in the midst of it.
Chaos is going to start now. They're all fighting for a very small amount of space down here in the south. You got Stella, 3D Max, Moonwolf, PG-18, and Swarm with Tarlans taking shots at them.
It's completely jam-packed, and we talked about this west being as open as could possibly be. North is going to be evenly so. The boom does go out on the end bend. Long-range headshot coming in there, securing himself the finish off. Great shot fired by him.
They're not going to be done yet either. Oko runs in, running and gunning, spraying them down. 3D Max out in 10.
There's no stopping Moonwolf with the way they're playing right now. Even though they might not get the win, they sure have stepped it up over the course of this week. One hell of a performance. They were sitting in 9th this week, and this game, if they get a good enough result, they might see themselves finish 2nd.
Stella trying to fight this off, but more nades come out. Oko does eventually go down. Moonwolf will be eliminated next, and Stella finally turning things around, but is it too little too late, Toby?
And look at one player who's still alive. He has the eyes of the entirety of Desperado going over towards him. It's Frank. Just trying to grind those placement points. He's in them now. Of course, he might be in already, but every single point, as you said, James, every single point that he can get his way will be well earned.
It's not every little step you take, it's every little point you climb.
Exactly.
That is what it's going to be here for Mr. Frank from Se7en. He knows that they are right on the edge of being eliminated.
Tarlans, they'll be embracing this compound with love.
Frank's like, are you serious? Did it really shift this far away from me?
Yeah, I mean, when you're sitting this far on the edge, odds are you wouldn't get inside the circle anyway. Now, Tark, last remaining player from Swarm. Got to give it to Swarm, despite maybe not getting into that top 8. They sure fought for it in the end of things. It took them too long, you could argue, to find their footing within the group, but they clearly showed us that they are a team worthy of playing in the contenders.
Art of War now, though, up at 10 kills, and they are having a field day in these last couple of games. They went for the first previously, and maybe they're looking for the back-to-backs to end this out with.
It's just too bad that it happens when you've gone plus those 20 games play.
Yeah.
It's simply too late for them to find their footing here. You need to stay consistent throughout the entire tournament. Of course, it's a tough task to do. But for them, even though if they might go down into playing the... that's a good shot coming in there. As I say, that though doesn't get the knock-on down. Actually, not that good shot at all.
Mobley trying to avoid the nades, but they're coming out towards him. He's not going to survive. Vac is now on his knees as well. Stella heavily under pressure here, and they need all the points they can get. Toxin in the pack lines as well.
Vinco needs to do a lot more damage. Frank does go down. 7th place for Se7en. Should be enough, but we'll have to wait and see until those numbers on our screen.
8th place for Se7en, but still 1 point regardless. 1 point, and I don't think they got any kills. This could 1 point save them. I've got no idea. We'll have to wait and see. As Art of War, they will fall next. They won't get the back-to-back wins. They will be going out in 7th, but there is still plenty of action to be had here. The Swarm and Elgig, 1 player alive each, 2 for Stella, 2 for PG-18.
Yeah.
Tarlans, they've managed to hold on to this compound, and they're still nicely in the circle, but it's Desperados who have the 4-man stack to get the job done.
Great 1v2 by Savage there in the end. Had Memo had it early on, would have been a whole other story, but unfortunately for him, not a whole lot more he could do there. Tuck still alive, grind those placement points, see what you can get off of it. He's caught off on the backside and he's not going to be engaged in anything. Another team that's not going to be doing anything more is PG as well, as they go down and out in 6th place. And Desperado, we talked about them. We were missing them on Miramar 2 days ago, but they sure have stepped up here in the final 2 games.
Swarm, Tok, he gets picked apart. He was right on the edge. There wasn't much hope for him from that position.
Yeah. Look at this position. We have 10 people alive and we're 24 minutes into the game, James. We're in circle 6.
Margot sees him. He can't land the shots, though.
We're in circle 6 and we have 9 people alive.
And look, they are all fighting. But this is the hilarious part, because look where Savage is. He's up in the very northwest, just holding it down. Like, I'll just take all the placement points I can get. Why not?
We're talking about it. There's a lot to play for outside of that top 8 all the way down to 12th place. You get something from it. Moonlight. He's going to see himself finally finding himself a headshot over towards Calvin. Circle is going to force Savage to move, and he's already shooting now, realizing, you know what? I might as well just try and see if I can get myself some points off of this, because I'm not getting out of here alive.
Yeah, he took some shots at Cold Menta, but Tozera well aware of where they came from, and he is ready.
Smoke in hand, nade in hand, what you going to do here? Can you get that 1 more point to get yourself into a proper position in the leaderboard? We'll see. Doesn't have a lot of time to do that anymore, though. Smokes in hand. We can't see exactly how many he has to work with. Doesn't really matter either. He would need something like 20 in order to make it into this next circle.
Now we see it from Desperados. They've got full control of this, but they're stuck down in the south. Some of the Tarlans players have moved out. Moonlight's just going to sit as long as he can now. Savage is going to be the first player that has to move, but Desperados, can they use this bit of high ground against Tarlans to their advantage? It's Savage they need to be careful of, because the damage that can come their way, but Fake is on top of it. He has done the damage there.
Yeah.
And Savage is just thinking, okay, this is just ridiculous now. What do I even do?
At this point, you don't even care to tank the blue, because it's 2 teams remaining. Of course, he doesn't maybe know that, but Desperados, doesn't matter if they get a point. For him, just see if you can get anything with you. See if you can get that extra point. That's all that matters to you right now.
Points.
Nope. Circle is moving slowly and he's buying himself all the time that he can, but now he's forced into the open.
Oh,
3.
God.
Make that 5 players shooting at him. That's going to be Elgiganten down in 3rd place, but got to give it to them. They stepped it up today. 4th place today, 3rd place as well with some kills in it too. Just came in too late.
Now, this is where Desperado need to be a little bit more cautious. Margot and Panko pushed up close. Moonlight is still in his compound, just on the very edge of the circle. And we've got Cold Dementor and Fake pushing their way around. Calvin Klein, he should have been able to hear a few of those shots going off there. Should be aware of it, but Cold Dementor is doing a lot of damage to Panko, puts him down on the ground, and he'll be looking to finish him off instantly here. Calvin Klein comes down the side, headshots are landed, and Tarlans, they are going to be down and out of it. It's a 4v1, and Moonlight, you best land some headshots, baby.
Yeah, full control for Desperados. We've been missing them the end of this week, and here they are back and showing us exactly what they're capable of doing. 4v1, there's no way in the universe that Moonlight is doing anything here.
Oh no, Moonlight cannot afford for that car to blow up next to him. He is hidden in the smoke. He is waiting it out. Shots coming out towards him constantly, and he's just going to drive out. He's trying the John Wick mode. He pushes to find himself some cover. This may work out, but they surround him. Desperado get the job done, and they will end Group B with a win and 10 kills.
That is a good way to finish off for them, even though they might have been secured in that spot already. A couple of rough games coming into next week.
Yeah.
That's not going to be how we want to go into. We talked about it. It's going to be reset for next week. Things are going to go all over where we started from. We don't have technical issues, of course. We have Phantom taking out blue.